over in, I'm sorry, 171, and the reach advantage, 3 inches, goes the way of Nikolay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the LFA 102 feature fight of the night tonight on UFC Fight Pass, and is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the LFA welterweight division. Brought to you tonight by GLC 2000, the world's most potent joint pain formula. GLC 2000, no pain, more gain. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This striker stands 6'2", weighed in 169 pounds. He holds a professional record 7 wins, 3 defeats, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Kings MMA and fighting out of Huntington Beach Ultimate Training Center in Huntington Beach, California, by way of Astana, Kazakhstan, Nikolay Veretennikov.
Hey.
His opponent across the octagon, fighting out of the red corner, is a mixed martial artist standing 5'11", weighed in 171 pounds. He holds a professional record, 8 wins, 1 defeat, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Team 515 and fighting out of Longview, Texas, by way of La Ceiba, Honduras, Steve the Average Jones. Your referee in charge of the action, Kevin Nix.
Okay, fighters, we already went over the rules in the back. I expect a good, clean fight. Touch close now. Go to your corner, be Warriors.
Closest odds of the night from BetDSI.com. Veretennikov is your favorite at -149. Slight underdog to that man, Steve Jones, at +124. We are ready. 3 rounds in the LFA welterweight division. Veretennikov comes out with some kicks to that lead leg early.
Right when I say he doesn't kick legs. That's the first thing he does.
Of course. Didn't mention that in the fighter meetings too much, did he? Veretennikov in the white trunks, blue tape. Jones red tape and blue shorts. Ron Kruk, Rafael Lobato Jr., and Lorisenko with you for LFA number 102.
Well, we got the power of Veretennikov kind of versus the intelligence of Jones. You see Jones kind of sitting back, really looking to read and see how Veretennikov is approaching, what combinations to use. Nice catch there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't want to stay on him.
Veretennikov, so fast, so explosive. Steve Jones, not necessarily overly fast, but you know, he finds those holes and those opportunities by sort of doing what he's doing right now, which is taking his time, making his reads.
It's been a little while since we've seen Veretennikov. Back in September 2019, had a hip injury that kept him out for a while, and then of course moving from Houston to California and Huntington Beach Ultimate Training Center and Kings MMA.
Hands up when you're leaving. You're circling out.
Nice. Good weave. Ooh, gotta be careful.
Oh, and Jones caught him. He's backing up. Nikolay now.
Calm down. Hands up.
I love the nice high guard that Steve Jones uses as he's sort of making these reads. You know, he's in distance, he's in range, but he's got such a safe guard that he can do that as long as he checks those kicks.
Yeah, good posture.
Ooh.
Hands up.
Jones looking to work that jab a little bit, close the distance.
Dead silent in here right now. Just the anticipation. Veretennikov gets a kick to the ribs through. 6 knockouts for Veretennikov out of his 7 victories.
Oh, beautiful knee.
Nice.
Steve Jones wearing it pretty well, though.
Yeah. Nice read.
And he gets
under.
in.
Ooh, I am shocked he couldn't get it down there. Great balance by Nikolay.
Turn him around.
Steve was in about as deep as you could be. You could see Nikolay using that tie clinch every time they get close, setting up those knees. Loaded that one up. Oh, goodness.
The knees from Veretennikov are just nasty.
There's a lot of firepower in there.
Get that leg.
Nice, he saw it.
Steps under and
Saw it.
counters. Good shot from Jones.
There's the tie clinch. It's a great way to shut down a boxer. Grab the head.
Don't get so wild. Don't get so wild. That's that jab out there. Get that leg. Get that leg.
Nikolay corner. Jorge Mendoza asking for the jab. It's White Victoria here too.
Nice left hand by Steve. I think you can kind of see that Steve's neck's getting a little tired. Nikolay has grabbed it several times now to set up the tie clinch. That definitely wears on you.
Anytime your head gets broken down like that, it's just so hard to do anything with your hips, with your shoulders. Completely changes the game.
Under a minute to go. Opening round. Jones and Veretennikov. Feature fight here at LFA 102.
Nice. Good combination by Steve. Missed a couple, but attacking the body and the head.
I was just going to say, Jones doing a good job of mixing the levels of his strikes, not just headhunting here.
Big shot from Veretennikov. But again, as you said, Laura, he has taken some shots and shaken them off. Now he attacks.
Good head position by Steve. Tried to drive him back, but Nikolay reversed it at the very end.
He had double overs, I believe, and wasn't able to quite spin him onto the cage. Impressive defense from Veretennikov.
Fighters back to their corners. Make sure you check out all of the LFA social media platforms for Inside LFA, fighter updates, event recaps, and of course interviews as we check out the highlights in that opening round.
Yeah, it's Nikolay's leg work. Nice high kick, followed up with a left hook. And the knee straight in the middle, right to the solar plexus, and working the tie clinch afterwards. Nice uppercut by Steve. Mostly hands from Steve and mostly legs from Nikolay.
Absolutely. Get set for the second round of this welterweight action. Of course, the LFA welterweight champion, Nikolay Mendoza, probably keeping an eye on this fight tonight.
Well, so far, Mark Berry's job is intact. He did stake his matchmaking job that this would be a good fight.
Good point. There's a lot on the line, Mark. You're not out of the woods yet. Veretennikov, sorry, in 7-3. Jones comes in 8-1. It's a real key matchup in the welterweight division.
And Jones opened up that round looking for the calf kick. There's a good little bruise on Nikolay's leg, but he moved it out of the way and saw the kick coming. That might be something Jones looks to use a little more this round.
Sorry about that. Veretennikov doing a really nice job of using more hooks, getting around that nice high, tight guard of Jones. Oh, the knee from Veretennikov. That's just nasty.
Yeah, and he gets it up there too. Here we go. They're firing.
You bet. Back and forth now.
Got some chins on display in Oklahoma today, guys.
Man, you're not kidding. Seen some massive shots just shaken off. Oh, beautiful block by Jones.
Ooh, nice response.
Okay, you were right, Mark. Not that we were ever arguing with you.
Yeah, he's done a great job with this card tonight. Every fight's been super exciting. Harai Goshi.
Oh, thank you.
Goshi.
Is it Uchimata when
he's
you're
gonna miss
between
it.
them?
Yes,
You
yes.
could school me later, Rafael.
But he's going to lose his position if he's not careful. He needs to get that left heel inside the body through the leg, and then he can set up the armbar or decide to maybe just take the back. But right now he has no leg in. And Steve's now got an underhook, and he's back up. Could still try to work with that Kimura grip a little bit. And look back to go to the Sotogari Harai Goshi position.
Okay, now you're just showing.
Now
Yeah,
he could sit in. I got another one for you. He could sit into the Sumigaishi and flip him over with that Kimura trap.
Hope you're taking notes at home, folks.
And if he,
And learning
Steve's got to be careful. If he lets go, there's going to be knees coming, so he needs to be careful. Nice transition.
Yeah, Jones on the back now.
Nikolay's fighting hands.
A little blood trickling from the nose of Steve Jones. Midway point of the second round.
Steve looking to get a trip possibly here. He's got a nice underhook on the right side.
Nikolay could go right back to that same throw again. There he goes. Looking for it. Knee. Steve's got to be careful.
Oh, good
Beautiful.
take, Jones. Nice level
That
change.
was sweet.
At the perfect time.
Yep.
Under 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes, Steve. 2 minutes.
Strong takedown from the average Steve Jones.
Neither of these guys, favors the ground necessarily, but Steve Jones with that purple belt, we've seen him do good stuff in the top position before. Land some nasty ground and pound. He's good at controlling guys here, but preferably against the cage. And we're here in the open mat where, Veretennikov can swivel his hips a little bit easier.
He walked out wearing a Carlos Machado Jiu-Jitsu t-shirt. Carlos Machado is actually my first teacher, based here in nearby in Dallas, Texas, and was the first black belt of that caliber to come to this area of the country.
Nice, great details as we're approaching 1 minute to go.
Good little knee cut position by Steve. Nikolay's going back to the Kimura's kind of falling back into the half guard here. He was almost passing, but I think he wants to just do work from here, control the rest of this round. Nikolay needs to be careful with his arm position. There could be an arm triangle coming there. I did not like to see him that comfortable with his arm over there. There he goes.
Neither of these fighters have a submission victory, which is kind of surprising. They both got boxing wins, though. Veretennikov back in 2015, more recently for Jones last January.
Let's go, Nikolay. 20 seconds.
He might have solidified this round with that takedown.
Jones firing as the clock winds down. And we're going to head to the third round. Veretennikov and Jones.
Jones looks pretty fatigued.
Yeah, he kind of crawled back to that stool, didn't he?
Didn't have to crawl far, though.
Nope, crawled up it.
Steve Jones looks tired, but he did put in work in this round, landed a beautiful right hook there as Veretennikov was closing the distance. I mean, these guys were absolutely swinging leather in this round. Veretennikov landing those knees from the clinch position, but Steve Jones, at just the right time, changes levels, gets the double leg, and lands in that top position.
I agree, Rafael. That takedown might have stole the round there for Jones.
It's time to dig deep.
Both of these guys. Can get themselves into the welterweight title conversation with a victory.
Speaking of conversation, what you're saying to yourself in your head right now is really important. This could be 1-1. It's a close fight, last round. It's time to let it go. Leave it all out there in the cage.
You bet. Low kick.
There it was. He's
Jones.
opened the round like that again.
And you can see, as you pointed out earlier, that left calf definitely red. Knee. Oh.
You got to be careful. Don't let him keep his hands there.
Oh, the tie clinch from Veretennikov is so good.
Man, if Jones doesn't get the takedown out of this, he's going to be a lot more worn out. Every time you put all your weight on the back of someone's neck, it is so tiring.
Looking to pick the ankle, the right ankle of Veretennikov. He's got the single, but Veretennikov defends, gets those underhooks.
Oh, you can see the fatigue.
Yes. Jones back up on his feet, but Veretenikov's knees doing a lot of damage. And now on the back of Jones.
That was a mistake.
And he's firing away. The end could be near.
Yes.
Firing away. How much does Jones have left? Back on his feet.
He's going to go back to the tie clinch.
Oh, the elbows.
Sneaky elbow.
Keep him there.
Jones keeps moving forward.
War of attrition.
Jones fires a knee. But he's
Nice. Nikolay smelled blood, but he might have used a little too much energy too soon. Still got a lot of round left.
Both these guys are pretty tired at this point. Steve Jones doing a nice job of controlling Veretennikov against the cage here, looking to possibly reap the leg there, but Veretenikov's height, I think, has given Steve Jones some issues at times. Much longer legs.
oh, but he drops him.
It didn't connect to his head,
Jones is in
though.
trouble, guys.
And Veretennikov smells blood. Hammer fists. Jones somehow hanging on, back on his feet.
Man, he's been heavy on that head in every way throughout the whole fight. Pushing the head, pulling the head, stuffing the head.
It makes my back tired.
Yeah,
My back is tired thinking about it. I mean, you're right, Rafael. That just wears on you. And I think that's part of the gas and the fatigue that we're seeing from Steve Jones.
100%.
Midway through the third round. Oh, that knee lands again from Veretennikov. Jones just fighting through.
Steve Jones still has some pop in his hands.
And now an opportunity.
This is a
for
great opportunity for
Jones.
Steve. I think he should just stuff and try to get behind. Don't risk landing on bottom here.
Yep, he's got to get that leg free, turn around. Oh, that's just not.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Both these guys are just
He tried to hit the switch, he couldn't get it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That's a huge
So
win for
slick.
Steve Jones in this moment.
Definitely.
That's a big, big win.
It looked like Veretennikov was back on his feet, and Jones said, not so fast, my friend.
Third round, a minute and a half to work, you know, a round where he was really hurt just a moment ago.
Yeah.
Steve Jones has got to go to work here.
He does. He needs to solidify this round. These last 90 seconds, he can't keep his head on the chest. He needs to start to posture up, get wrist control, throw some elbows. There he goes. There you go. And Nikolay shouldn't relax too much either.
Absolutely.
Body, head, body. Let's go. Work, Steve, work. It's tired, Steve.
Man, I'm tired.
Come on, Steve.
Absolutely.
Every fight's made me tired.
Yeah, it seems like Veretennikov has kind of, you know, submitted himself to this position a little bit, had his guard closed there for a minute, looking to just sort of control the arms of Jones as best he can. But, oh, looking for a sweep. I think he's content to try to not take too much damage at this point.
Yeah, seems to be okay in this position, although Harley Mendoza keeps saying, punch, Nikolay.
Or get up. I just don't think he should end the fight like
It's
this.
not
It's
a good
such a
look.
close fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know how the judges are going to score that. There you go. There you go. Get the legs in front. Put a foot on the hip. Try to kick away here. Off balance. Get up. Get up.
But Steve Jones continuing to fight.
Doing a good job staying heavy, following the hips.
Veretennikov has not been able to get up. And wow, what an effort though from Steve
A
Jones.
little bit too late. Oh, the knee!
Gets one more knee in for good measure. And what a matchup. Both of these guys are just exhausted.
That fight did not disappoint. A little bit of everything, and both of those guys, I mean, they left everything they had in that octagon.
Let's take a look at that action. Great knee to the body. That's what started it right there. That left knee creep through. Thank goodness that knee to the head didn't make it. Otherwise, Steve wouldn't have made it to the end of the fight.
Yeah.
Another beautiful knee. And then this exchange, Steve was able to come out on top of, which is what helped him in that round in a good way, but was it enough? Super close fight.
Yep.
I think with him getting hurt as much as he was in that round, I don't know if they can give Steve Jones that round, but I guess it just depends on how you score those takedowns.
Right. Judges busy here tonight in Oklahoma, and have had to really dig deep because we have seen some close fights. Already have one split decision tonight. Let's get the official decision from Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Atwood scores about 30-27. Judge Bauer scores about 29-28. And Judge English scores about 30-27. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Nikolay Veretennikov.
Welcome back. Nikolay Veretennikov gets his first win inside the octagon.